Okay everybody, welcome to the hideout, and finally a video on a knife. Okay everybody, welcome to the hideout today, and I want to make sure and say thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all of you. If you have not subscribed, please do. Click the little ringy dingy, get a notification. See us at sgt1911.com. Alright, you know, back 13-14 months ago when we first started the channel, one of the things I said I wanted to do was talk about knives. Now, knives, you know, that's just like toy cars to boys. I mean, you know, knives, fishing worms, fishing hooks, 22 bullets, and 12 gauge shells. That's what we're all about, right? All right, well, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite knives, and I'm going to admit there's a lot I do not know about these, but they're Randall knives. Now, a lot of people are going to recognize them, especially the Randall Combat #1. Excuse me, let me catch my breath just a little bit. Still having a little trouble. All right. Back in about 1937, an old fellow named Bo Randall lived up north, Michigan someplace. As a child, walking around through the woods, he came up with an old man who had a homemade knife. Well, young Bo Randall decided he wanted to make knives. So young Bo Randall makes his first knife out of a file. Still a lot of them made that way today. Well, as Bo Randall goes through the ages and get into the 40s, World War II starts. The young sailor asked Bo Randall, said, "Bo Randall, would you make me a knife?" Bo Randall made this sailor a knife. Well, the next thing you know, other military men wanted a knife like this fella had. So by the end of World War II, Bo Randall was making knives for the military, Army, Marines, Navy, anybody and everybody. These things were said to be so good that I'll quote one of these fellas: "You could take a man's head off with one slice with a Randall knife." So since that time, Randall knives have been in high demand. Randall knives have been on the space shuttle. Randall knives have been to the moon. Randall knives have been owned by presidents. Randall knives have been owned by lots of celebrities and stars. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show you one Randall knife. Well, we'll look at it. There's a bunch of them out there. But I'm going to show you one and show you a few things about this Randall knife that'll be common on other Randall knives, but you can order them all kinds of ways. Now, one thing before I forget it, a Randall knife, if you want one today, you can go to their website, Randall Knives, and order what you want, but it's going to take you about 5 to 6 years to get your Randall knife. That's if you order one. Now, the way I found a Randall knife, going to gun and knife shows, going to a knife shop, and you will see you can find new and used Randall knives in these showcases. Now, they're not made in Japan, they're handmade. There's only a few people making there, and that's the reason they can only turn out a few a year. And they're not cheap. You know, you're talking $500, $600, $700 for a Randall knife or more. But what you've got is a true collectible family heirloom. What we got right here is a model 27 Trailblazer. Now, I want to roll it around and do the best I can to give you a look. And, you know, be patient with me. I'm going to go as slow as I can, but I want to try to do a good job. Now, take a look at it in its sheath. And one of the first things you're going to see is a sharpening stone. All the Randall knives that I'm aware of have a sharpening stone out here that comes with the knife. Now, are they all that way? I don't know. There are a lot of them. You can, like I said, you have one custom made to fit you. Take a look at the sheath. This thing is nice, thick leather. Look how thick it is. Nice and thick. It's sewn well. Let me see the stitching. It's sewn very well out there. Let's take it. Got a nice strap so it stays secure, and a belt loop. Now let's take a look at the Randall knife. Now I'm going to hold it this way, and it's kind of start down here, and you'll see it's like almost like a buoy shape. This particular model 27 called the Trailblazer. It's got like a 5 3/4 inch blade on it. you might can see the grind line where you can see it in there. I'm going to try to roll it so you can see the grind line. Right? It's got a nice brass finger guard. It's got a nice stag handle. It's got some layered micarta and brass in here. You see it in here. Now this in here is brass. Now I want you to look how that's finished. The brass is finished evenly with the stag grip. You see that? So that's a nice selection. I mean, that's not just some welded on piece of butt crap there. You know, these things are made, handmade. They got a few people down there melting steel. This is not stainless steel. They're melting steel, getting it hot, pounding it out, and they're only making a few of these a year, and that's why you're getting it. Now, another thing I want you to see, I'm gonna have a difficult time showing it to you, is on this side, it doesn't say made in USA, it doesn't say made in Taiwan. Look where it says Randall knives here. You see that? That is stamped in nice and deep. That is, you know, this is a 1/4 inch steel knife blade. That is really nice and deep put in there. We've got a fine, fine knife. Now, one of the things that I will say, and you'll probably hear me say it over and over and over again, is us people who enjoy knives, you don't have a knife, you have knives. Why do you have knives? Well, you got a peanut pocket knife, you got a big knife, you got a small knife, you got a fillet knife, you got a skinning knife, you got a Bowie knife, you got a dry point knife. It's almost like shoes for the ladies, right? For each purse, you got to have a matching pair of shoes. For each job, you almost have to have the right knife. I get a huge butcher knife. That's good for cutting a roast beef. It's not good for skinning a white-tailed deer. So, along with these Randall knives, you can go online, and I would like for you to go online. I'm not pitching for Randall knives. What I am pitching for is nice knives. Go out there and look at them and design your own. Have a look at them and see what you got. And let's just look at it one more time. Nice brass finger guard, nice stag handle, micarta laid in there, inlaid. It's got a nice grind line on it. Randall stamped in the side of it. Like I said, fellas, this is not stainless steel. It will stain. So, you know, if you take it hunting and you do something with it, you need to clean it afterwards. Don't just leave it in the sheath and pull it out 6 months later, 6 months later and expect it not to have a stain from blood you left on it. It will. But you know what? It's a knife. It's a tool. It's something we should use. However, I have a hard time using some of these because they're just very nice and I like them. Nice toys like some of my 1911s, right? Anyway, I wanted to share my first knife video with you guys. Hopefully we'll get into where we talk about different types of steel, the 1095s, the 440C stainless, and some things that I do not know a lot about, but I'm hoping I'll learn. So anyway, fellas, until we get together again, shoot safe and shoot straight. Hooah.